नमस्कार, आदाब, सत श्री अकाल। आई एम योर होस्ट और दोस्त Akshay and welcome to The Origin Show. Knowledge starts here, brought to you by EPIC LIFE S.R.A. Before we going to start this video, I request you please subscribe your channel. जी हाँ, जो रेड बटन दिया हुआ है सब्सक्राइब का, प्लीज सब्सक्राइब। इट्स फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट, कोई पैसे नहीं लगने हैं। एंड अगर आपको वीडियो पसंद आए तो प्लीज लाइक द वीडियो एंड प्रेस द बेल आइकन, जो घंटी दिया हुआ है, द बेल आइकन दिया हुआ है, प्लीज प्रेस इट सो व्हेन आई एम सेंडिंग अ वीडियो यू विल गेट अ नोटिफिकेशन। आज का जो एपिसोड थोड़ा सा सेम ही कैजुअल होने वाला है, तो आराम से देखिएगा वीडियो को। और आज के जो हमारे गेस्ट हैं उनका नाम है मिस्टर राघवन जी। हाँ, ये उनके साथ दूसरा एपिसोड है। यस, वी हैव अगेन डन वन वीडियो मिस्टर राघवन, उनके साथ पहले एपिसोड हम कर चुके हैं। उसका लिंक मैं डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स में डाल देता हूँ, प्लीज उसको भी देख सकते हैं एंड समझ सकते हैं अबाउट द ऑटोमोबाइल इंडस्ट्री, about the future of electric vehicles and hydrogen vehicles and many more. इस एपिसोड में we'll be talk about some casual way. Yes, this episode में we going to speak about the management and we going to talk about the electric vehicle and many more in very simple way. And I request you to please watch the full video and if you like it, please subscribe it your channel. Till then, stay tuned. We'll be come back after a short intro. Hello, sir. How are you? Namaste.
Namaste. How are you? Good to see you
I'm good,
again.
sir. I'm good, sir. So, sir, I have a question which it was in my mind. This time, I will talk about the work-life balance. As you are a president of Lucas India Services company, and you also have a family which you to manage it, and also you need to be update your knowledge to sustain in this industry. How you manage that? Can you please explain in layman language?
Sure. Uh, see, पहला चीज़ ये है कि हम जो भी करते हैं अगर हम ढंग से करते हैं, ओके, दैट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट बिकॉज मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम इज़ वेस्टेड व्हेन वी डू द रीवर्क. मान लो मैं ऑफिस में जाके घर के बारे में सोचता रहता हूँ तो ऑफिस का काम भी बराबर नहीं होगा, घर का काम भी बराबर नहीं होगा. ओके, जब ऑफिस में हूँ अगर ऑफिस का काम सोच समझ के मैं करता हूँ उसको दोबारा देखने का करने का मौका नहीं मिलेगी. एक बार कर दिया, अच्छा कर दिया, ठीक है, खेल खत्म. आई डोंट हैव टू रीओपन दैट चैप्टर. Same thing at home, okay, but okay, there will be sometimes there will be emergencies on either side. When you are at office, home emergency or home office emergency, you need to do the balancing act. But I would rather say, I would not like to use the word work-life balance. How do you make both coexist in a peaceful way? Okay, so that requires a fair amount of understanding of what is more important. Okay, what is more important is, मान लो मैं अगर ऑफिस में नहीं हूँ, मैं छुट्टी लेके कहीं गया हूँ वेकेशन में, ऑफिस का काम रुकना नहीं चाहिए. ओके, सो विच मीन्स सिस्टम प्रोसेस जो डेलीगेट करना है उसको डेलीगेट करना ही चाहिए. वो जिनको करना है वो ढंग से वो करना भी चाहिए. वो जो लायक है उसको हम वो सौंप देना चाहिए, राइट. सो डेलीगेटिंग टू द राइट पर्सन द राइट वे एंड मैनेजिंग इट reduce. Same thing happens at the other side, home. Okay, so when you share the responsibility at home and it need not wait for you every time to happen. So it's a kind of a, it's not balancing, it is how to make it coexist.
Okay. Now, sir, I have a question. Not I have, we can say all the youth will have question. For example, people will see MDs, CEOs, and presidents of the companies, different companies. They always think what they do in the office, how they do the work. Do they going to do the same thing work which normal employees do the work? Then how they manage their works? So, can you please put light on that, sir?
Sure. It's a very good question, but I want to answer it in a slightly different way. अब
Yes, sir.
ये सोच लीजिए, एक कंपनी का एमडी हो, सीईओ हो या प्रेसिडेंट हो या एक कंपनी का मालिक भी हो. इफ यू आर एन इंडिविजुअल एंटरप्रेन्योर, यू आर रनिंग, आपका दुकान भी चलाते हो या कंपनी भी चलाते हो, जो भी होगा. ओके, the responsibility increases. Okay, suppose, let's say I am a watchman in a building. Okay, and I have a certain responsibility during a certain time period. So I have to be watching out for intruders, or I have to be watching out for some things. And if I don't do that, there will be some backup mechanism which will help the company which has employed me to take action, okay, to prevent unnecessary things from happening. So, and the failure as a watchman will have a limited impact. Okay,
Yes, sir.
एंड मान लो ऐसे 1,000 वॉचमैन है, उसका एक सुपरवाइजर है. ओके,
Okay.
and his responsibility becomes slightly bigger. He is not watching out the watchmen. His job becomes who are the people who are capable of being watchmen. So how do I hire? How do I train? How do I make them do their work properly so that my clients do not get affected? Okay. आप मान लो ऐसे एक 100 सुपरवाइजर है, उनका ऊपर एक जनरल मैनेजर है. So his
Hmm.
level of responsibility increases further, because when the supervisor makes a mistake, it affects about 1,000 watchmen and maybe about 100 or 200 clients. Okay, and when the general manager makes a mistake, it affects a larger set of people, both internally
Okay.
and externally. So, as a CEO or an MD or a head of a company, the most important thing is you need to make decision, and you can't wait forever to not to make a decision. And the decision should be in a very, very judicious manner, because see, you cannot say that 100% of all decisions you make are going to be perfect, because depending
Okay.
on the information available to you at the time you are making a decision. But how there are, so that therefore as a CEO, the most important thing is what is that only I can do, I should decide, and what is that others can do better than me, so we should allow others to do, and what is that can be completely outsourced to somebody else. I don't even have to worry about it. So,
Hmm.
so that becomes the most important aspect of being a CEO or an MD of a head of a company.
ओके ओके, थैंक यू सर आंसरिंग दैट क्वेश्चन. नाउ सबसे क्वेश्चन, क्या आप किताबें पढ़ते हैं? डू यू रीड बुक्स इन फ्री टाइम?
Yes, I do read. I
एंड
do
व्हाट
read
काइंड ऑफ
books.
बुक्स यू रीड सर टू एनहांस योर लर्निंग?
Yeah, from management to technology to even fiction. Sometimes you need to have de-stress yourself. So you read fiction. So from everything, I have been a very voracious reader right from my childhood. So whenever I
ओह,
started reading, so I've been reading. So I love reading. Okay, I used to collect a lot of books at one point in time. Had more than 7,000 books as a collection, but
ओके.
unfortunately, since I moved around quite a bit across India and I couldn't carry everything along, yeah, we did. For about 15 years, we carried everything up with us. But now with Kindle, etc., available, I have kind of made everything electronic now, except a few books, everything electronic. And for me, one of the most advantageous thing is, since I travel a lot, most of the time waiting at the airport, okay, or waiting for something, so Kindle comes in handy, so I can read anything that I want to read from the Kindle.
Okay, sir. So did you read ever Bhagavad Gita in life till now?
Yes, I have read. I cannot say that I have read it end to end, but
Uh-huh.
it is one of the most inspirational books for me. Okay,
So what's your thought on that, sir? Is it helped you? Is it helped you in your life, in working also?
that book is more about decision making as an individual. Okay, so
Oh,
if you look at the background, okay, the setting is what, it's a Kurukshetra Yudh. Okay, Arjuna खड़ा है. Okay,
mm-hmm.
and सामने पूरा friends and family are on
Gaurav.
the opposite side also. Okay, and he knows that when you take a decision, what is the decision, you आप तीर चलानी है, आप
Mm-hmm.
किसका ऊपर तीर चलाओगे, मामा है, चाचा है, भतीजा है. So that is life. Okay, many a times we have to take some tough decisions. Okay, so what guides us, so the Krishna is what, the Krishna is the, I mean, in our Hindu philosophy, in Hindu way of life, we identify ourselves one with the universe or the what we call as God. Okay, and as a religion, if you believe in something, you can make a god out of it. I believe in something, I can make a god out of it. There is no restriction. There is a Ram, there is a Sham, there is a Devi, there are different Devis, there are in fact countless number of gods that we can worship. So the Kishan ka kya hai? Kishan is the godliness inside us, what is guiding us to take the right decision at every moment in life. So if you, from that point of view, if you read every chapter of the 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, so that gives you immense amount of wisdom about many things. So not just as a shloka, I just read and recite it and leave it, then it doesn't make sense. But if you understand the context and you go through that, and there are many translated versions available in Hindi, English, and whichever language you want today. So it is a wonderful treasure of wisdom whenever we are, facing a difficulty in making a decision.
Yes, sir. So now, sir, just want to a last question before going further. Which book you going to advise our youth or to my generation to read that book to enhance the learning? Which book you want to advise?
I would not recommend any one book because the relationship between an individual and a book is a
Hmm.
question of how do you really like it. Okay, because
Ah,
if I tell about some author, some book, it may be too heavy, you may not read it, you may not like it, because after 2 3 pages you will feel that, oh चला ये boring है, मैं ये पढ़ नहीं पाऊंगा. Okay,
ah,
however, however, there are a few things, say for example, especially from an employment point of view. Okay,
hmm.
people who want to enhance their skills, etc. My suggestion would be that there are countless videos available on YouTube today. Okay, there are a
Okay,
lot of Indian CEOs, Indian managers who have talked about how you go through in your career. Okay, so simply searching on career management, okay, there will be a whole amount of videos you'll be able to
okay,
download. Okay, Shivakumar, who was the Pepsi India chairman, and subsequently he was with Aditya Vikram Birla Group, and recently he has moved on to a private equity firm, and he was also Nokia India CEO. Okay, so his videos are worth watching. And similarly, Ravi Venkatesan, okay, who was Microsoft India chairman, and prior to that, he was with Cummins, the youngest ever CEO. Probably he was about 33 or 34 when he became the CEO of Cummins, and some of his wisdom are timeless. Okay, because these are the people who have actually grown up in career. Okay, they have seen life.
okay.
ओके सो आई वुड, बिकॉज आजकल क्या है, कितने लोग पढ़ना पसंद करते हैं.
हाँ जी.
Okay, so from that point of view, I think instead of watching on some memes and some stand-up comedy, I'm not saying I have nothing against stand-up comedy, it is a great way of relaxing, but instead of only looking at those things, looking at these videos will also help.
Okay, sir. Now, since you talk about the other CEOs of the company people, so now I have one question which I have in my mind. So, you being a president, you also meet the other company CEOs and president in the meets happen whenever they happen. So what you talk with them? You talk about the company shares. You talk about their personal lives. What do you talk? Generally, just people have a question in their mind. If five MD meets together, what they will discuss.
Okay, see, here again, I go to a stranger and then start talking about share prices. I don't think that anybody will even encourage that. So, typically, what will happen is there are macroeconomic issues which are affecting the industry in general. Okay, say for example, the oil prices going up, or okay, there is a sudden, okay, you read in the newspaper that there is a huge lithium reserve somewhere in Jammu, and how is it going to change, if at all
Rajasthan.
it is going to change, etc. So those kind of things is one group of things. If you have known the person well, and if the person is more experienced than you are, I always have sought help from others in understanding, or I am undergoing this difficulty right now in deciding on a few things. So if you were in my position, what would you do? So that depends on how much I can confide in that person. Okay, and and of course, we are all human beings, so we also crack jokes. Okay, so
Okay, मैं तभी पूछा because हम लोग ये भी still we things like if you go and ask so many local people, they think ये सब MDs to मिलके what they discuss, what they do when they meet. If they know they go meet on something meetings happening from different companies, people will come and discuss what they will do. This question which I asked from you. So now, sir, I have a question. Sir, recently, Mr. Modi ji went to US, has signed the some MOU with the US along and with India. So do you think and any recently you signed in Tamil Nadu as you from Chennai? So any new investment coming up towards Chennai or in India in automotive
in
industry?
Chennai is the automobile hub. Okay, so you have Ashok Leyland, you have Hyundai, which is now the number one and number two, whichever way you look at it, and all the ecosystem around that. Lot of things are happening in the EV space. Okay, and the entire TVS group is here, the Murugappa group is here, and there is a whole host of companies here. And in addition to that, Chennai is also one of the strong presence of the software industry. Even on the AI ML side, there are a lot of things which are happening. Service industry is thriving as well. So there is a when such things happen, the talent base of the place gets enhanced. There are many colleges, many institutes of higher learning, etc., which are available, and therefore, and there is IIT Madras here in Chennai, and then there are management institutes, Great Lakes Institute of Management in Chennai, and there are many other management institutes in Chennai. IIM Trichy has a extension campus in Chennai. So a lot of ecosystem available in Chennai, and therefore it has attracted a lot of investment into Chennai. And Mr. Modi
That's
ji
great.
has just returned from US, and what part of that will go to which state is too early to now say. So the defense deals will go to some areas where the defense industry is predominant. Maybe the automobile related, some part of it might come to Gurgaon, some might come to Pune, some might come to Chennai, etc. So it is early days to say.
Okay, sir. So now we were discussing. I was discussing with one of my colleague in like few days back. Why US is so developed because they believe in the R&D, research and development. Does India and private companies in India they're doing the tie-up to do the R&D right now? And what is the
See,
future in
there are,
this?
we, at least I can talk for myself. We believe in development, and we not necessarily limited to some kind of a joint venture activity. Okay, because the product development and the technology development go hand in hand. R&D is what you do a lot of research about the product and the application of the product and the problems that you want to solve for your customers, right? So yes, there is a lot more emphasis and focus has come in India in R&D side, and I would say
Okay.
probably the pharmaceutical industry was leading the way, initially through reverse engineering and later through fundamental research as well. And software industry, okay, there are a lot of AI ML related fundamental work which is going on in India, but we have a long way to go because the basic education system needs to be focused on development rather than memory. Okay, so once that change happens, probably it will pick up even more.
Thank you, sir, for answering this question because I was asking this question to make a positive impact in the audience, so they need to think. The recent discoveries coming up, plus also in government also encouraging the private companies in India to do the more R&D and get the
Right,
new innovations in India, whether it is automobile industry or any industry in India.
right, right.
Now, sir, I have a question. Just we would, as you said, that we got the lithium reserves in Jammu and Rajasthan also got.
So, is there any chances to getting a low price of EV cars in India in future because of lithium
No, see,
reserves?
please understand this. Mining, you are extracting the ore, it needs to be processed, then it needs to be converted into something which is usable in EV. Even after doing all this, EV is a technology which is spreading all over the world. Okay, so
Yes, sir.
naturally, as a commodity, the commodity prices will be governed by the demand and supply of that commodity. Okay, so the prices, because we have explored it and mined it and developed it in India, the prices here are not going to come down. Okay, the only element in the price that will come down is instead of having to import it from some other country, the transportation cost might come down. Okay,
Okay.
so, and you may not pay import duties maybe, but
Yes.
it is not going to make it any cheaper than that.
Okay, sir. Okay, okay. So now EV is the future, as everyone says. So now, no much. I want to discuss about the EV infrastructure. Is Lucas India is also giving contribution in developing the EV infrastructure in India for
See,
charging
EV,
stations?
so EV infrastructure is essentially today there are other players who are far ahead of many other people. Okay, see what is EV infrastructure? See, today you can just plug and play. Okay, you from your own electric means you can charge many of the vehicles. You require the right kind of adapters. But what will gain ground over a period of time is, instead of depending on the electricity from your electricity board, if we are able to convert the solar energy and then use it for charging, etc. So those kind of technologies will have to emerge, and it is emerging. And as of now, we are not playing any major role in that. Okay, but our intent is to get into that ecosystem as well.
Okay, sir. Now I have one more question, sir. As you said about the solar energy, so PM Modi started in a world to one grid, one world, one grid, one energy. So does Indian factory also looking into the solar panels which they will use for the generating the energy for the factories?
Many companies do that. Okay, the rooftop solar is very popular even among the commercial installations. Okay, so rooftop solar. But we need to understand one thing. The factory requirements come in two forms. All your low tension load, that is lighting, फैन चलाने के लिए, आपका वाटर पंप चलाने के लिए, etc., bathroom pumping के लिए, etc., that is different from the HT load. Okay, so the 440 volts, and then you run some 1 megawatt or so kind of load. So that load is completely different. That is not going to come from solar now immediately. We don't have the technology. Nobody has the technology yet. Yes, the
Yes.
lighting load requirements will be met by solar by and large. Many companies are doing it. Okay, and it is also driven by the sustainable development initiatives. Okay, so you want to
Okay.
reduce the fossil fuel dependence even on your electricity generation. Okay, so you don't want to depend on the thermal power stations, etc. So you want to bring more solar, more hydroelectric, and more wind energy, etc. So that direction is also happening. But integrating it into the grid is happening to some extent, but I think it needs to improve even further. And with smart metering and the smart transmission, etc., now this area where the AI and ML will play a very important role in accelerating the growth of this technology. Okay,
Okay.
so the smart metering. So when you are not in the room, the light goes off. When you come into the room, the light comes up, and then you don't. Your AC need not be at 18 degrees, so it will keep varying depending on the room temperature, etc. So these technologies will emerge in saving power, not only from the point of view of saving power. It is on the sustainability basis.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Now I have one more question which I'm going to ask with you, sir. Since we all know Mr. Nitin Gadkari is using the hydrogen car right now. Okay, so do you think hydrogen will come in India? Since Toyota is doing that thing and doing the research and got the
So
engine.
there is something called an inflection point. What is it? Okay. So today the cost of hydrogen technology is high for a common
Okay.
man to use, because उतना तो इंस्टॉलेशंस नहीं है. उतना इंस्टॉलेशंस आने के लिए cost as the technology has to mature in such a way that the cost comes down. Okay,
Hmm.
so when that happened with any technology. Okay, and we all have smartphones today because the inflection point was reached, because the technology matured. So when the inflection point in the technology reaches, automatically this will become popular. So
Okay.
whether the hydrogen will reach that point faster, or lithium ion will reach that point faster, or any other technology will reach that point faster, I'm not able to predict right now.
Okay, sir. So I have last question before winding up this session, sir. So what piece of advice you want to give to this Gen Z youth people? Because right now everyone getting knowledge from the YouTube and on online articles. So what piece of advice you want to give them so that they not get confused and they get the clear path which career they can take as a profession way.
Okay. Uh, Gen Z is far more informed than my generation. So I have a lot to
Millennials.
learn from. Yeah, I have a lot to learn from them. Okay, so they're all digital natives. They're all born digital. Okay, probably some gene in their body is already digitized. Okay, so therefore they all know how to use the gadgets. Okay, and which is an advantage. But what they need to learn from their earlier generations is the human relations. Okay,
Yes.
a like is not a thumbs up on a social media platform. Okay, a like is actually somebody like you and I sitting and able to converse and then understand each other, and therefore like or dislike. Okay,
Hmm.
so human beings still are social beings, and we need to know how to deal with human beings in a human way. So that is something, if they focus on that, I'm sure they have all the right things in their mind. Okay, I think they are far more committed to a social upliftment and cause than any other earlier generation. Okay,
Okay.
and
Okay.
they just like they don't want to be associated with any company or any brand, and they're very aware of various things. So if they improve their human interactions, moving away from the screen, okay, and then spend more time with each other, I think they will create a faster and much lasting impact.
Okay, okay. That's a great advice, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much
Right.
for
Thank
giving your
you.
time, sir.
Thank you very much.
I hope you watched the full video and I believe you liked the video. And if you like it, I request you please share this video to all your family and friends, especially friends or youngsters, so they can see and understand the future of automobile industry in India, and also you can seek about the job opportunities also. Till then, stay tuned, stay healthy. We'll be coming back with more interesting videos on your Epic Life SRA YouTube channel. And remember, keep giving your love and support the Origin Show. We'll be coming with more videos with different topics and discuss about future in India with terms of job opportunities and many more. Thank you.